Let's check in with a trans teacher and see how that's going.
No one is coming after your children.
Okay, well that doesn't sound so bad.
So yes, I should be an elementary teacher because I am visible to my students and they are able to see that being queer and thriving in society is possible.
Okay, so someone is coming after our kids. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my freedom-loving friend. This is where we call all lies hypocrisy, corruption, and help spread the light of truth and freedom because truth conquers. Now, there is a teacher amongst us whose whole message is, dude, we, as in the trans, queer, non-binary community, are not coming after your kids. And then you watch them go after kids that are in their classroom. So, clip from Libs of TikTok came up on my feed, so I looked into this person, and we're going to take a look at that clip and some others in just a second. But first, this teacher, I'm not sure if teacher is the right pronoun. It's not the pronoun in their TikTok bio, but this is the teacher. Sky is the name, spelled incorrectly. Shout out. And pronouns they, them. So I don't know how many of them there are. My vision only picks up one, but there's apparently multiple. I mean, this is a teacher who should know the correct usage and meaning of the words they, them, which indicates multiple people. So nonetheless, there's many people that you can't see. You'll just see this one. Here's your original post I saw on my Twitter feed from Libs of TikTok of this they, them teacher of fourth graders. And it says, transgender non-binary teacher shows off LGBTQ pride propaganda all over her classroom. Libs of TikTok misgendered this woman who goes by they, them, and writes, F off Libs of TikTok. Shout out. This person with a fairly small following probably doesn't want any heat, probably doesn't have the mental capacity for it, but they called out Libs of TikTok, who they do amazing work, have a huge following. So Libs of TikTok's like, all right, I'll let you look like an idiot on my channel by you just being you. I'll show you your video. And that's what Libs of TikTok has done. That's why we're talking about it. These are the people teaching your kids. Would you feel comfortable in trusting your kids with this person? Thank you for the question. I personally would not. So let's see what this teacher is showing fourth graders in they, them's classroom. Now, as we take a look, I'm going to keep the music muted because one, it's copyrighted, and two, they, them has awful taste in music. So we see, okay, we got some sketch your hand propaganda. I'm okay with hands. I believe in those. Okay, The Day You Begin. That's an LGBTQ book, and we're not coming after your kids. What do you have your LGBTQ book in the classroom filled with kids? I'm not coming after them, though. Come here, kids. All right, that's what's going on there. What else we got? This is a safe space. That's clever. That's clever. We're not in space, though. Whoa, right in the classroom. Wow! Right, we're not coming after your kids. Here's the flag, kids. I'm not coming after. Here's the flag, kids. Look at the. I'm not coming after you. There it is. But not just one, but look at the representation of all these different pride flags. This is that's either a pride flag or it's Norway's flag right there. The blue, pink, and white. That's just amazing. So a lot of different pride flags because this is. Oh, and we got more LGBTQ books in the corner. Again, this is not this person's home, private residence. It is the classroom that they are paid to teach in, filled with kids, that this person, words out of they, them's mouth is, we're not coming after your kids. And I appreciate her saying we're not gonna, because they refer to themselves as they, them, so that to implying all of me is not coming after your kids. See more. Double zoom into the pride flag. That's just important. More, wow. It's a lot of books. I don't know all of them are good. All right. Here is, what is identity? It is who you are, the way you think about yourself, and the way you present yourself to people around you. Culture, ethnicity, race, gender, home, personality, and more play a part in your identity. So there's a lot of conflicting definitions within that definition of identity. We're not trying to confuse anybody. You can control them more when they're confused. So identity is who you are. Got it. the way you think about yourself, well, those are two different things. Those are two very different things for starters. And by the way, I like the lowercase e amongst the capitals, lowercase I as well. I guess we do lowercase vowels. But nonetheless, this is certainly a huge problem with mentally ill young people, that instead of having their mental illness treated, they have gender confusion affirmed, because there is a huge difference between who you are and who you think you are. And we'll also throw a third one in there, who you want to be. So who you actually are, that's going to be the source of truth. That's going to be the place where the more you're aligned with it, the healthier you're going to be mentally and physically. I will stand by that. And then there's who you think you are. I think I'm a girl today. All right, when we let that actually be the identity rather than phrasing it correctly, this is who you think you are. Did you know you're not always right? A lot of people spend their whole lives working on self-realization, and they still don't know exactly who they are, but they're working to get in alignment. So their life, their mental, their physical can all be healthier. So of course, LGBTQ is all about, we're gonna wash away who you actually are. That's a problem for us. And we're going to affirm who you think you are. So nonetheless, I got a little problem with this sign. But I love, what is diversity? It's from a white teacher. It is understanding that each person is unique and holds their... We're pretty similar, like 8 billion. I got it. We're all unique. I get that. But also, we're more like... We're not that special. Okay, let's not be narcissists here. Wow, we got social justice. Is that a map? Yeah. Why do you have the word social justice? I don't, because it's just beautiful, isn't it? Not really. What is bias, culture, social justice? Again, I was 4th grade, so this is 9 and 10-year-olds. It's like you're looking at a world map. Why do you need to look at the term social justice? That's one of the original woke terms, by the way. Books, yeah, that's how you spell books. That's one. More pride, flaggy stuff. Love is a human right. I don't think according to the Nuremberg Code, but I'm probably just being a contrarian. Got it. Beautiful. Here's to another year growing, making space, teaching, surviving. Well, we're survivors here, like Delta Force, protesting, fighting for our children's right to exist. Weirdly, I bet she's very pro-abortion. We'll get back to the video, but first, unless you're already independently wealthy and never have to work another day in your life, let me tell you about a game changer that I'm using personally. I Trust Capital. I Trust Capital is redefining access to digital assets with retirement and long-term wealth building solutions. That's great, but here's the deal. I care about my future in retirement, so I've had an IRA account with a traditional bank without very impressive growth, being honest. It's safe and secure, but it's never really excited me because you have a little interest working for you that's based on the value of the dollar. But inflation obviously works against that, and storing your value in US dollars is like holding an ice cube and watching it melt. Now, I've been a long-term believer in Bitcoin because it's inflation-proof, and I only see the value of it going up long-term. So when I learned that I Trust Capital offers fully compliant crypto IRA accounts, I said, I didn't know you could do that. And they said, yeah, you can. That's why we're here. And I said, you mean to tell me I can hold Bitcoin in my IRA account instead of US dollars? And they said, yes, along with 80 other cryptocurrencies and precious metals. I immediately transferred my existing IRA at my bank into my newly formed I Trust Capital IRA. And their US-based customer service was extremely helpful and made it easy because they're fully informed people who care. But I got even more excited. Here's why. Typically, when you're trading crypto, every single gain is a taxable event, but not when it's in your I Trust Capital IRA. For example, maybe you're like me and you're a believer in the long-term potential of Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin hits, say, 125,000, within my account, I can sell some or all of my Bitcoin, convert that to US dollars, stays within my account, no taxes paid, and then I can use those dollars to buy back in at Bitcoin when it drops to, say, 90,000. Instead of a massive chunk being paid in taxes, that chunk stays in your account, working for you as an investment, giving you a beautiful compounding effect. iTrust Capital also offers premium custody accounts for non-retirement crypto trading with institutional level security. And that protects you from hacks, scams, and thefts that plague regular crypto exchanges. I took immediate action setting up my IRA with iTrust Capital because it makes sense to me. Maybe it does to you too. Check it out. Head to itrustcapital.com/JP Sears and use promo code JPS8 for a $100 funding bonus. Now back to the video. This is where they call out libs of TikTok. Pride flag and colors everywhere because F off libs of TikTok. This person's probably regretting that. We'll get more from Sky spelled wrong. I should announce that again, just to do the proper pronouns of the spelling. They, them in a second, but first, here's why a lot of parents have a problem with people like this going after their kids. First off, you're saying, we're not going after your kids. And then, okay, here, this is evidence. This is called evidence. It's proof that you are, because it's in the classroom with kids. Anyway. Here's Carrie Lake from Arizona. She's awesome. Kind of lost that governor race. Rigged election. Not that I would say that. But she says pretty point blank. Take a look.
Honestly, the sexualization of our young people and sexualization of culture has led a lot of kids into this because they don't feel that they're ready for that, which naturally they shouldn't be. And then you have an adult, a trusted adult in their life saying, well, maybe you're in the wrong body. Maybe you are really a boy. And it's so twisted and sick. I'm glad that we're seeing an end to this. And I don't think there is such thing as a transgender child. I think it's a mental illness.
Yeah. So that's the way a lot of parents think about this. Like, I'm trans. Like, I think you need help. You're who you are. Like, you got your gender. God gave that to you. You can't not have that. You got who you are, and when you're in conflict with that, that is a tremendous mental illness. You're always in a fight against yourself. Calling it a mental illness 5 years ago, we'd say, oh boy, that sounds harsh. Even though behind closed doors, we'd be like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And now it's like we're allowed to say this stuff out loud, even though I've always said it out loud. But if you just no, my child's trans, that used to be called a mental illness. It'd be like, in 10 years, people who have cancer, they're like, that's actually not a disease. That's a new gender. You are that gender. You're the gender of cancer. Congratulations. You should affirm that cancer. Should I treat the cancer? No. This isn't a disease to treat and cure. That this is who you are, who you really are. It's affirm your new gender of cancer. Could you imagine how insane that would be? To affirm a disease, call a disease a new gender, instead of saying, oh, this disease is obviously to my detriment. Can we treat this, cure it, minimize it? No. How insane is that? Now, this teacher, I would guess they believe they mean well. And do I believe this teacher is a predatory threat to children in the sense of a guy in the girls' locker room in a dress as a threat? I don't know for sure, but I would guess this teacher isn't. I think they mean well. Doesn't mean they have good direction. Doesn't mean they're doing well. But I think that this particular teacher, Sky spelled wrong, probably does mean well. I'm guessing they're not a predator because it's actually a female. And most of the predators, whether they're the school shooters or the minor attracted people, you know what I mean? They're guys pretending to be girls. Doesn't mean it can't happen the other way. It's just statistically okay. We know the drill. And how do I know this they, them is a girl? Well, one, look at them. And two, here's a previous TikTok of theirs.
Hi, I love this question.
It's a different voice. It's a female voice.
So the biggest thing to remember.
The journey of being trans it's wild, y'all. It's wild. I love my voice now.
Well, probably nobody else loves it now or even likes it. It's like a boy's voice caught in the worst stage of early puberty, but nonetheless, used to have a pleasant voice. But that's the evidence that this is actually a girl. Now, before I show you something heartwarming, let's watch another clip, and this time they, them is looking a little more masculine. Not like a man, but as in like a, whoa, this kind of looks like a Tim Walz voter right here.
Today is National Coming Out Day. On National Coming Out Day, it is a day to honor our members and acknowledge that different people come out in different ways, and everybody's journey is their own journey. Some of us, it is not safe to be out in public.
This person is probably very safe in public. Like, let me tell you that right now. Looks very unthreatening, is much more looking like a woman than a man in spite of they, them's best efforts. But we got to play the victim card here. And by the way, National Coming Out Day, I didn't know that was a holiday. I guess I missed it this year. It's a day to honor us. You don't honor people because they demand to be honored. Honor is something earned, and it's given to you by other people. It's not them giving into your demands for you to honor them. And in fact, if they do, that's not really honoring. It's the facade of it. It's them giving into tyranny. So nonetheless, veterans never stood around one day saying, we demand to be honored. It's like, no, people collectively are like, what they do is so honorable. We need to honor them. We want to honor them because they deserve it. Nonetheless,
that does not mean we are excluded from this day. Some of us are able to be more out in public and keep our jobs and be able to be on social media like myself here. No matter where you're at in your journey, Coming Out Day is for all of us.
It's actually not for all of us. It's for a very, very small segment of the population, Sky. It's like less than 1%. By the way, the percentage is dropping. I'll show you that in a second. Weird how that works. So no, it's not for all of us. You want all of us to honor you for nothing of merit or achievement, but perhaps you have deep-seated narcissism and entitlement, but that's not really something that's very honorable. So no. National Coming Out Day, it's not for everybody. It's all about you.
And for our lovely advocates in the classroom, this is
the classroom. Again, this is the teacher. We're not coming after your children. This person very much has so much material on here's what happens in the classroom. Community.
Time where you can make sure to talk about us and share the stories and share the history of Coming Out Day.
To children. Yeah, right. Not that we're coming after your children, but here we go. And again, this person doesn't strike me as the type that's coming after children in the minor attracted people sense, but absolutely coming after children in the my programming says to recruit more cult members. It validates me. It feeds this diseased propaganda that's deep-seated in Western Hollywood psychology. And I don't like it.
Share with your students that the reason why we even have a Coming Out Day is because of the oppression that the queer community has constantly faced here in this country.
Well, once they can actually define what queer is, maybe there will be a little less oppression. And it turns out it looks like statistics based on reality are also oppressing the queer community. Here you can see a graph of 3 different studies that show share of students not identifying as male or female from 2016 to 2025 are dropping. In other words, students who think they're trans. And this Andover study, the blue line, you can see it peaked in 2023. What a good year, right? We were on the rise. 9% of students definitely thought they were something that they are not. And that's impressive to get 9% of kids to think there's something that they're not. You're a cat. Meow. Okay, that's what they're doing here. But it's dropping. Here in 2025, it's down to 2%. Again, going by the Andover study, just to pick one out of the 3. It's the most dramatic, therefore most interesting. So 9% to 2%. Well, that's a rapid decline of population. And I would dare say, thanks to people on the whole, finally being brave enough, and it doesn't take that much bravery to say words, trust me, but people on the whole finally being brave enough to simply say what they see instead of going along with, yeah, this makes sense, LGBTQ, because they fear backlash from speaking up. So I think principally thanks to that, part of that is less censorship on social media nowadays. Weirdly, less and less kids are being influenced to think they are something they're not. And this, in my opinion, as you can see statistically, it's a very big win for kids because kids are very impressionable. They need to be protected. And this is showing, on the whole, they're being better protected. But nonetheless, that's the news from one teacher and, of course, my commentary. Let me know what you think about this teacher and these stats in the comments below, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. But until then, stay sane.